Where does motivation come from? When studying this from an empirical psychological perspective, we see that there are several things that urge us forth in life.
Ahoy! I am Sebastian Minks and I will be presenting the psychological need to belong. Now, Abraham Maslow gave a very good basic explanation of motivation in his hierarchy of needs. Here, we will be looking only at a very small part of this, and that is the need to belong. With us here today to ask questions is Master William Shakespeare.
Oh ho! I have been anticipating this. I shall begin my query thus. What shall I ask about?
Oh, you will be asking about the nature of people's need to belong, and I will be answering from a psychological perspective.
I begin now.
Yes.
What has moved psychologists in order to make them think that fulfilling the need to belong is a progression towards the ideal?
Well, it looks at how people are benefited by belonging. Scientific studies point out first that belonging boosts people's health.
Does it now?
Belonging also satisfies the three human needs outlined in the self-determination theory, which states that all people inwardly demand competence, autonomy, and relatedness. Once these three demands are harmoniously met, the person's need to belong is completely satisfied.
This sounds a lot like Aristotle and the old philosophers.
Apart from all this, people desire to be with others. This obvious fact alone should show psychologists that belonging is important.
So here you have discovered empirical proofs for the benefits of belongings. But how does psychology empirically prove the necessity of society?
Well, apart from the fact that people go crazy when completely isolated for a long time, psychology cites the pain of ostracism, or social exclusion. Many have conducted empirical studies to show that the same parts of the brain are active when someone experiences physical pain or social exclusion. Likewise, substances meant to relieve physical pain also relieve social pain.
So society is necessary to prevent pain and eventual madness.
Yes.
I see. But what do psychologists propose as a remedy for this necessity?
I actually have a quote for that. David Myers and Nathan D. Wall in their textbook, Psychology in Everyday Life, say, "To overcome feelings of rejection, nurture strong relationships with family and friends, and engage actively in new groups." Does this enigmatic solution make sense to your knotted logical brain?
Sure as eggs are eggs, this is obvious.
Many people also use technology to fulfill that need.
What? Oh, people are mere blocks. Be friends with stones instead of people. Belong to senseless things, and you will be happy.
No, it's not what you think.
What mean you?
People nowadays use technology to communicate at high speed.
Is that what yonder curious box does?
Yes, here you go. So, while technology can help people communicate long distance, it may also promote narcissism and discontent. But let us move off this topic.
Good. So, whence came this need to belong? What is its origin?
Well, psychologists tend to stay away from answering that question, or any question about origins.
Why?
You see, today's society is rather sensitive, and it is the general opinion that people stay out of religious areas. A great many say it should be private.
I see it is in vain that they try to make technology fulfill the need of belonging, since they regulate the communication that they are so earnest to provide.
Still, it is publicly regarded as tolerable to offer the evolutionary explanation. Millions of years ago, when people were ape-like savages, they found it necessary to stay in groups. Today, we still feel the tendencies that preserved the lives of our ancestors.
Well, this does not satisfy at all. Tell us. We will be satisfied. We will be satisfied.
Science does not desire to denounce or promote people's beliefs, though. It tries to be unbiased, and so cannot enter religious or creation matters.
But it explains with evolution. Come, tell us from whence our social urges come.
Why don't you do it for us?
Oh, so science shuts its mouth with a jade's trick. But in all gladness, I will finish the race, and simply too. God made man, and he created man with the capacity and desire for company. God created people so that they could have relationships with each other and with him. People now, though fallen and deluded, still feel that social desire and the desire for God.
Maslow calls the latter the transcendental need.
And since we are fallen, only when we are wholly sanctified in Christ can we have perfect relationships with God and with others. For Christians, this future communion is what they hope for, and it is what I hope for.
So there's a much bigger story behind people's need to belong.
I say, as sure as eggs are eggs, and as the ground we stand on exists, this is true. Ooh, yes! Level 1564 on Candy Crush. Who's the victor now? The Globe Theater is now following me on the Instagrams.